had more than 500 public library staff who presented story times. We had people that were known for their service, such as Prince George's and Enoch Pratt, the large systems. And then in many of our small rural systems, you may have someone's grandmother who works just a few hours a week. So how are we going to provide training that would address the needs of all those people? We were exceedingly lucky that one of Kathleen's staff went to a training from a group that has been a wonderful partner to us. It's Ready at 5, and they're an arm of the Maryland Business Roundtable. There were 2 people from Johns Hopkins University Center for Reading Excellence who were presenting at this conference, Lane Zarnicki and Gilda Martinez. Kathleen's staff went back, said you really need to get these people because they understand libraries. It's rare when you go to an education conference that actually mentions libraries. And Kathleen set up a meeting with them. It happened to be on my 50th birthday, and I always refer to them as the best birthday present I have ever gotten. And so they have become our partners. It took us over 6 months to create a day of training in order for us to address various needs. In the morning, they talked about what actually was the pedagogy behind and the research behind emergent literacy and the concepts that are in the Every Child Ready to Read. In the afternoon, we gave everybody a chance to play with what would a story time look like if you actually integrated this. We showed them that it wasn't so much changing what they did as informing the adults in the room what is their intent, that there is actually an educational intent behind blowing a bubble, behind rhyming. What would it mean if you had things in your library so that the children are actively learning while they're engaged and having fun? For the circulation staff, that if you say, this is a great book you've picked out, what made you like this book? To talk about what does a cover mean? And as a basis of this, after 500 people were trained, we began to see changes across the state. In fact, after that, we had requests to develop, and we have over the years, training that addressed the needs of special needs children, English as second language learners were also in that. And then we really took a step back and did it broader to look at the special needs of the child care providers. And so we have developed training for that. Ultimately, what it grew into is a research project that Dorothy's County, Carroll County did that has been recognized nationally. And the latest thing that is really probably the most important to keep this going and evolving is the peer coaching modules, which many of you have been exploring on this wiki. And so we are really confident that now that the culture has changed across the state, that although in these economic times we don't have as much hands-on as we would prefer to have, that this really has become how public service for preschoolers is implemented across the state.
One of the greatest features of who would have forecast the various projects and services that would have been created. For example, because of Carroll County's project with child care providers and doing newsletters, that evolved into something that St. Mary's County was able to build on and make happen. And we created WOW kits, and they're called Words on. We have a WOW van, which is Words on Wheels, stands for Words on Wheels, goes to child care providers. But then we knew that we could only get to so many child care providers, and also when you look, this Maryland model for school readiness and creates one of the products of this is an annual report, which the General Assembly, the state elected officials, release right towards the end of their session in late March. And it evaluates how each county's children are doing before they reach kindergarten, how proficient are they when they reach kindergarten, as well as what kind of setting were they in before they came to kindergarten, and how they're they assess out in the different domains as a result of that setting. And the one setting where children don't do as well is from informal settings, which means they're home with mom or dad or aunt or uncle or grandma or granddad, and those children don't have as much skill when they come to kindergarten. So we created what we called WOW Kits, Words on Wheel Kits, and they're a whole program in a vinyl bag with a grant that we got from the State Library Office. It was an LSTA grant. So that is an offshoot. There's other libraries in the state that do that, I believe, that have that kind of program.
Right. We have had a number of innovative grants that have come to apply for the Federal Library Service and Technology Act money from the Institute of Museum and Library Services. In Cecil County, they did RX for Reading, where they worked with the pediatricians. It has been very satisfying. We've given special grants for people to work with centers that are the Judy Centers, that are the outgrowth in Maryland to honor the late wife of Steny Hoyer. Judy Centers are connected with schools. And once again, by us providing public librarians with the language and the curricular underpinnings of why all of this is so important, they're able to be partners, full partners. And so we hope that this is a real strength. I want to back up a little bit. There was another effort that just so happened where the timing was perfect. It's never too early. Maryland had never had a full statewide marketing campaign before. And because it was recognized that there was huge interest at the General Assembly level, as well as the implementing of the Maryland Model for State Readiness within MSDE, that preschoolers and their parents would be the first target. It's never too early. Worked with people around the state. Dr. Grasmick, who was our state superintendent, still utilizes that term on a regular basis. And I think if you were to ask her what public libraries do, beyond all the many ways we support education, that would be the first thing off of her tongue. And for it, the state won the John Cotton Dana Award.